Welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the prices for the new ASIC miners that have gotten released. We got some news on that. They finally have been revealed. I purposely did not want to make a video when it was showing that these ASICs were going to be $100,000. I didn't want to make a video saying that they're $100,000 like confirmed because nothing was confirmed, everything was up in the air. So I try to make sure that I wasn't gonna make a video just so that I can get some clicks on that, to just always keep it real and serious with you guys, because we're always keeping it real and giving serious education and opinion on Caspa. So if you guys are new around here, consider leaving a like on this video after watching and subscribing to the channel. We are 5 subscribers away from 800 subscribers. I want to thank you guys so much for the support. So with all that being said, let's first talk about price action. So Caspa right now is currently at the 0.012 area. We have been being annihilated from completely, basically. We've completely fallen back to these levels over here, these consolidation area levels over here, which is really good in my opinion. Caspa really did need a correction nonetheless. If we go ahead and take a look at trading view real quick and load up Caspa, we're going to see here that ultimately Caspa has just entered into this perfect trading area channel right here, which was a lot of people was waiting for this area to be hit, and Caspa's in this area. It's currently super oversold. I mean, we're talking 22 on the RSI. Let's go ahead and look at the weekly. I was always saying that I want the weekly to come down lower. It's at 46. I'm hoping it gets in the 30s. If it gets in the 30s, then it's definitely a good time to dollar cost averaging. Again, don't FOMO in. This could probably go on for a whole lot longer, but typically in charts we need to refill every single green candle, and so far we have done that. Pretty much we've refilled every single green candle. This may get refilled, but if we do go down this low, that'll be the 0.008 area, which I think that's a little bit too low for a crash. That's talking like over 90% there, or not even, we're talking about 80%, which, okay, so that's a little bit, that's reasonable. I mean, Bitcoin would see 90% drops, so if we were to get a Bitcoin kind of scenario, we would see 0.004 again, which honestly I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're getting closer to the Fed interest rate hikes and the CPI data, which I'm pretty sure is going to be bullish for Bitcoin, which Bitcoin will then hold us up. Other than that, the whole market's doing bad. Bitcoin's not doing that well, so it's going to keep everything down, and then of course altcoins are going to get hurt the most. But again, remember to always look at the bigger picture. We're still up 6,400% on this, and like I've always said, this is a long-term investment. We're not even into the bull run cycle, the full-fledged bull run, so I'm gonna hold this all the way up to that point, because I think it's just, it's a no-brainer. Caspa is here to stay. It was built for this moment. But let's go ahead and take a look at the ASICs, which is causing a lot of the FUD and fear and uncertainty and doubt in this market, because people are afraid that ASICs are going to kill the network, because there's only going to be a certain amount of people probably having them, which they're all just going to basically dump on us. That is basically the narrative. And as you could see here, the Cas Miner KS3 finally got revealed on Bitmain, and it's going for $49,800, which is really expensive. That does prohibit from the little guy from being able to get their hands on these miners. But again, this is supply and demand, so over time these prices will drop, and it will allow more people to get these miners so that it's more decentralized. But it looks like Bitmain has a competitor, because Ice River out of nowhere decided to drop their CAS KS3s for 47,800 to be a little bit more competitive to Bitmain. And they also have a lower end model for 24,800, which is actually a little bit more cheaper for more people to get their hands on these miners to hopefully mine some Caspa. And a lot of people say decentralization is going to be an issue here, but honestly, I think this is super bullish for Caspa long term. Maybe in the short term, it may hurt the price because the emissions rate is still super high. But if the emissions rate, if the blocks per second gets increased sooner, then the emissions rate is going to decrease per block because it gets divided by all the blocks, which then promotes decentralization because then more miners can have opportunities to find blocks if there's more blocks per second. That's coming future in the Rust update. Again, this came out, which is Bitmain KS3 Viper A Tech secures 1,500 units. So a lot of people were speculating that there's only going to be about 2,000 units that would go out on the market, and it looks like there's going to be way more because a major tech mining company secured 1,500 units of this for Kaspa. And ultimately, I think this is just all bullets. Remember, when ASIC mining rigs are built for a specific coin, that's an investment into the coin itself. I think they are looking long term at Kaspa, and they see this to be very profitable long term. And as the rewards keep decreasing every single month, it's not going to be like these miners are going to be making $2,000 a day. No, it's going to get divided out between all the different mining rigs. If you're seeing anything that they're going to be people like an individual person is going to be able to make $2,000 a day, that's not true. With all these mining rigs, over 2,000 rigs that are going to be out there in the market, it does not mean that. Now, of course, Viper A Tech is one major company that's securing 1,500 units. So that does decrease decentralization because mainly now it's just one company that has a lot of the hash power. But again, this doesn't really hurt security because it does not benefit them at all to attack the network, especially making an investment like this into these rigs. So again, they may dump the price, they may not. But ultimately, I've seen some people researching these miners on the network, and ultimately, a lot of the miners have been holding on to their Kaspa. And if we look at the bigger picture too, at the block explorer, we could take a look here, seeing that our pHs are still at 1.15 despite the price dropping. So usually when the pHs keep rising, the price will eventually have to rise with it so that people can make profits. It makes no sense for the Kaspa's price to keep going down because then they will just basically lose their investment on these ASICs. So just remember that the emissions rate is always getting reduced every single month. So in the next 14 days, we're going to see Kaspa get reduced to 208 Kaspa per block mined. We're already at 64% mined. This was first given to CPU miners, GPU miners, and FGPA miners. So, they all have that advantage. And a lot of people say like, yeah, these companies are probably mining with their ASICs before they give it out to the market. But either way, like, this is normal. This is part of Kaspa's plan. Kaspa was always built to bring on ASICs to the network because it was just always part of the plan. Let's also take a look at the top addresses here. We could see that the top 10 has been growing a lot more recently, getting closer to that 19%, and mainly that's just due to exchanges. Ultimately, it looks like people have been loading up on exchanges. Not sure if this is because they're buying or there's just a lot more selling pressure, but recently CoinEx just took over the number 4 spot, which before this one right here used to be sitting at like number 3, I'm pretty sure, and now it's at number 5 and number 6. So the top 10 wallets are basically exchanges, which is super good. We got the Rust fund over here. This is the community fund that was given, donated so that the people can work on the Rust upgrade. And then we have 4 addresses here that we're not too sure who they are, but they only control about 1%, close to 1% of the supply. And then after wallet number 8 right here, you could see that they don't even control 1% of the supply anymore. Either way, these people have never sold. Looking at these addresses, they have just literally just been holding on to their Kaspa. Another good website you can look into is look into Kaspa. This allows you to actually see all the millionaires that have addresses with just 1 million Kaspa. Recently, it's been declining quite a bit ever since this ASIC drama kind of started. Addresses with 1 million Kaspa has been declining. Now again, remember that these addresses here, like if you look right here for the whales right here, it says 178. Now this can't be fully accurate because a whale could actually have a lot more. It doesn't mean that there's 178 individual people that have 10 to 100 million Kaspa. It could be the same person that's using different wallets. So just remember that there could be a lot less people that have a lot more Kaspa. But either way, it's so early in Kaspa's history that this is going to keep getting distributed, and I'm here for the long run, and I'm not selling any of my Kaspa. I'm just going to keep accruing, dollar cost averaging in, not FOMOing in, keep educating myself and understanding my investment, because that is core and very important to make sure that you understand your investment, to know what's going on. Because if you don't, if something ever goes wrong, if something was to ever go wrong with Kaspa, if I find something that is very, very concerning, I'm going to be addressing it here, guys. I'm not married to my investment here. I have this investment and I'm going to educate others on it. And again, like I've always said, I buy Bitcoin as well because that is my hedge against Kaspa. And I'm probably going to be accruing a lot more Bitcoin so that I have a bigger percentage in Bitcoin, because that, in my opinion, is the safest investment in crypto, is Bitcoin. And then Kaspa is that riskier investment that could potentially become one of the greatest proof of works cryptocurrencies ever to be seen. So, this is going to be a long, dragged out kind of year. Expect for a couple months of just consolidation, maybe a possible pump once we get the Fed interest rate hikes or pauses, or a possible debt ceiling crisis. It's finally over. We may see a pump. Honestly, just the whole market's waiting for macro environment events to take place. So just be ready for a long, dragged out consolidation period, maybe for the next 6 months in crypto. Honestly, as we get closer to the Bitcoin halving. So yeah, I'm always going to keep you guys up to date with Kaspa here. I'm putting a video out pretty much every single day during the week. So if you guys are new around here, please consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. Lastly, I do want to promote my Patreon. I just opened up a free trial access, so you can get access to the private Discord if you just simply join right here, and you get 7 days free trial. So if you're interested in that, please consider doing that. And with all that being said, don't be average, be different.